Hello and welcome back to Charwell, the Farming Agency edition, where I am currently driving up to the shop to sell the first piece of equipment of today. I want to buy 2 new pieces of equipment. New. I'm not using the used equipment mod. And to do that, I need to sell some equipment. I may have to take a small loan as well, but I'm hopeful that will pay off quickly. So the first piece of equipment is this. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'll go to an outside view so it's easier to see. This is a round bale collector, and it is the Ursus that was provided when I started the game. So, whoops, stick to the right side of the road. So I've never used this, and I've got the Anderson on lease, which means this is just not used anymore. I should have had the beacons on. So I'm taking it up to the shop to get rid of it. We're going to get a good amount for it, I think. I think we're going to be looking at around £32,500. So it should be worthwhile. Now, let's turn it to here. The second piece of equipment we're going to sell is actually the batwing mowers. Now you may say, why are you going to sell something that you only just bought? Simple, really. I want a different set. Yes, I am that spoilt. Let's get in here. And we can reverse this guy back in. Whoa. Disconnect that. And how much can we get? It hasn't been used, so I'm hoping. Do I have to jump up to be able to sell? There we go. 37,000. Wow, okay. Operating hours 0.1. I think that's just driving here. Why can I not sell though? Repair first? Now I can sell. Okay, £37,500. Can we get one of the mowers while we're here then? Because what I'm going to buy are these 2. So these are from the Alpine DLC. They are a lot cheaper than any other set available. I think I spoke about this before. That is £44,500 for 8.1 plus 3.1. If I look at the standard Pottingers, that's 61,000 for 8.4 and 3.1. That's a big saving. So it looks like, though, we can get the first one. We'll have to buy the other one when we come back. So I will pick up this mower. Well, in fact, the field we're cutting is field 79. Does it make sense to take it back to the farm? Yes, I suppose it does. Okay, so I will get this back to the farm then, and we can then come back with the batwing mowers and get them sold. See you in a moment. Here we are then, we've got the JCB batwing mowers. Now, I did actually spend a bit of money installing a pressure washer. I probably should have given these mowers a bit of a clean. And you may be asking why I'm getting rid of the mowers, because I haven't had them that long. And the answer will hopefully become apparent when we start the mowing. I will be able to demonstrate it at that point, why it's more useful to have front and rear mowers. Right, repair that and sell it. So that is another 15,500. Awesome. So we can get this guy. Yes. And we're also going to need to get ourselves a tedder. I'm pretty sure we've got a windrower. We do have a windrower, but we do not have a tedder, is that right? Don't think so. We've also got a bale wrapper. We need to sell that. Yep, so I have not. And a baler, which we're not using. But I can use that baler. That baler will be used later. Okay, so we need a tedder. What can we afford? Not very much. Okay. That's fine. Okay, that is fine. Because what we'll do is we'll change my plan very slightly. My plan was to do a fertilising contract after we'd got the grass field sorted. But it looks like we're going to have to do that contract, do the fertilising contract first, so that we then have enough money to buy what we need to buy. So let's have a quick look. 7.8, 9.3 for baling, 7.9 for fertilising, field 32 and field 35. Where are they? 32 is here, 35 is here. I think we'll go with field 35, which is this one. So we'll accept. Now I will get over to the field with the fertilizer spreader and we can get that field done. Here we are then at the entrance to field 35. It's a bit of a tight entrance. I'm really hoping that I can get through here in one single move. And you might notice I'm in the New Holland, which I am not in very often. I think this farmer is probably trying to spray at the wrong time. That would be my assumption. This is quite a fully fledged crop, and we should probably have some care tires on, to be honest. We can cover pretty much the entire width of this. That is awesome. Excuse me, my throat is a bit froggish. Now, there is something new here. I was told, yeah, I should pick that up, that's right. It says online that you can now, oops, clear that, say which pumps you want running. I don't see that option though. So let's crack on. This field is not going to take long to do. And it's not going to cost us much in fertilizer either. In fact, we're fertilizing at 13 miles an hour. That's pretty quick. It seems a little too quick. But never look a gift horse in the mouth. So yeah, this contract is going to give me enough money to buy a tedder, or at least lease a tedder. We probably could have leased a tedder with the amount of money we've got, but we might end up buying the tedder just to make things easier for ourselves. Plus, extra money is good. We don't have that much money at the moment. We're struggling a little. Like I said, we do have the bale wrapper that we can get rid of because we've got the fast baler on permanent lease. So the fast baler is obviously better because it's an all-in-one. And I'm very intrigued how it is that you change this, because it was updated and I'm almost certain that there was an option to only have half the pump spraying. But I don't see that. Oops. That was a silly mistake. There we go. So how are we doing? 44% already. Look at that. With a sprayer of this size, this does not take long. And it's good because we've already paid for the fertilizer, so it's not like we're not going to lose any money. We're not spending money for no reason. In fact, I need to empty this sprayer out anyway and fill it with herbicide. And that's the other thing. It is now compatible with the manure system. Woohoo! So when I tried loading it before and I couldn't not get the thing to load, that problem will now be resolved. That's excellent news. The used equipment mod has also been updated. Now I cannot remember for the life of me if the update fixed the bug with the mouse wheel. And there was someone, I cannot remember the name, so I'm going to flash up the comment now. So thank you to you for your comment, because basically sent me a lovely link to a website which is tracking that mod and tracking the bugs. And it shows on the website that they have noticed the bug with the keyboard, with the mouse wheel. It's something they're aware of. So that's good. Good to know. Right. Now then, I cannot see where I've been. 75%. Let's go back onto here. Okay, so if I go straight up, this is where the map would be useful actually. There we go. That's alright. Yeah, it really doesn't take much to get this field done. So any moment now we should get the message telling us that the field is complete. Whoa, that was not the way to do it. There's a small section here that needs to be done. 97%. And have we covered everything? Almost. Almost done that. 99%. Okay. Just head down to this corner very quickly, run along here again, and that should finish the contract. Come on. Contract completed. Awesome. Right, we'll finish this just to be a bit professional. Even though we are driving in the farmer's crop. So we're not actually that professional. Let's fold him up. Drive him out of the field. And then we can collect our money. Can we see? We can just about see out of here. It's not as bad as when you're dealing with corn. Right, let's leave him by here and let's go and buy our tedder. Okay, so we're back here then. What we need to do first is collect the money from that. Nice, so that gives us 14,000. What can we get in the way of a tedder? So we've got a Cavernland, 11.2 meters. That's a hefty size. That's 8.7. 13 for this Pottinger. That is a nice width. And that Pottinger, 8.9. It's quite expensive. That's from the Alpine pack. That's Cavernland. You know what? I think we're going to go base game. I think we are. So we're going to lease that. Which means we can now pick this tedder up, get back to the yard, and we can grab a second tractor who is going to do the tedding for us. Right, the JCB is ready to go. We've got both mowers hooked up. So what we're going to do is head in here, and we need to repair this guy. There we go. We're not selling you. We may as well repair him at the same time. He also needs a bit of fuel. But before we do that, we will just drop off the spreader. Then we can refuel, and because I think this is going to be a good tractor to do the tedding with. Tedding, of course, not a high horsepower job. I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to get things ready. We will not do any baling. Oh, it's dangerous though to do that. I think we'll have to bale the silage, because we're going to do half the field as silage and half as hay. Right. We're heading to field 79, which, if I show you quickly, it is last stage harvest, which means there's going to be one hell of a lot of grass from here. So I'm going to get over to field 79 with this guy, and we will see you over there. Okay, down at the field, and I want to demonstrate exactly why it is a front mower is useful. Hopefully this works. Let's see. There we go, it did work, perfect. So this is called Crop Destruction V2. I've mentioned it before. So basically, grass gets reset a stage. So if I go here and show you, I have to do it a lot more, it seems. But basically, that has gone back a stage of growth. You can tell from the difference in height here. So having just the batwing mowers on the back, great, really good. But it does mean that we destroy the crop in front of us before we mow it, which is why I wanted to do it this way. Where we can cut at the front in front of us and be sure that everything is going to be fine. So, drop down the front one, and then the rear one. And yes, like I said, there should be a rather healthy dose of grass from this field. That is what I'm looking for. I'm going to get right to the edges. I'm also going to turn this time up. So we're going to do half this field as hay, like I said, half as grass. Let me just quickly go here, put that on, because we're going to do a time lapse in a moment. Because I need to get this grass done, and I think time lapsing is probably going to be the best way to do that. Get it all cut. Then for the silage, we'll come back with the JCB and we'll get the silage picked up. We need to row it as well, actually. Whatever we're doing as silage needs to be rowed. It's going to be a little tricky, because what's here on the grass, on the ground at the moment, is fresh grass. Now, fresh grass cannot be put into a bunker. Fresh grass can only be put into a silage bale. That's fine. But for it to turn to hay, we need to actually ted it twice. So really, we should be tedding the first part straight away in order to get the best chance of it drying completely. But as I don't have all of the tools here, and I'm reluctant to use yet another worker, I think we're just going to have to do this cleverly. Which means actually, because we've got so many jobs to do, I'm not going to time lapse. Just going to get this job done. Whoops. And yeah, I'll come back to you in a minute when the grass field is almost done, and I'll bring the windrower down so that we can start straight away. I'll get all of the tools that we're going to need down here, and at least that way we're not wasting time getting things sorted. So I will see you in a moment. Come on. There we go. Yeah, see you in a moment. Right, we're almost done with the cutting. Oh, come on, power, power. Even this guy struggles a little bit up the hill, which is quite ironic considering these mowers are from the Alpine DLC. Alpine, as in uphill. But yeah, these are very good mowers, and actually I realised when I was trying to work out which tractor to run them on, the reason why some of the stuff in the Alpine DLC is actually there, because to me it wasn't obvious for all of it. Some of it I was thinking, but that's the same price, and it's smaller in terms of working with. It's the power requirement. This mower set requires only 150 horsepower. Now if we go back to those basic Pottingers, you know, standard in-game Pottingers, that is 70, that's 230. That is a massive difference in power. And I think that is why these machines are expensive, really. And why they're useful. Because, you know, you can use them on a smaller tractor, or you can use them on a bigger tractor and get yourself plenty of extra horsepower for going up the hill. So that's kind of good if you're on a starting out series, because if you want to start out on a small farm, what this means is that you can actually have some bigger equipment, and it would still be, you know, it would be expensive, but slightly less expensive, but it would have a smaller horsepower requirement, so you could be doing it with some nice small starting out tractors like the Fiat and things like that. That's really, really useful. So, again, I'm not going to show you all of this because, yeah, this is a big field. I kind of forget how big this field is, but it's a bit of a monster. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 headlands off. Then we're going to go to tedding, and then I will row up the half of the field that I'm going to do silage bales with. I didn't bring the baler down because I want to run the baler on the JCB, so I'm going to have to take the JCB back to the farm, pick up the baler and come back with them. I also want to leave just a small amount of the grass that's going to be used for silage, because I want to see if it turns to hay. I have a feeling that it won't, because we're running Maize Plus and the forage extension. I think it will not turn to hay, because for grass to become hay, it needs to be tedded twice. At the moment, what we have here is fresh grass. Now, when you dry it, I think I can show you in the commodities page, actually, the prices page. So you have where is it? Where is the grass? Grass. Maybe it doesn't even appear in here. Maybe that's why I can't find it. That's grass. Okay. So there's meant to be fresh grass, which is what this is, or grass fresh, I think it's called. Then you have standard grass, I think. Then you have semi-hay. And then eventually you have normal hay. And of course you have silage grass and grass silage as well. So I think that if I don't do the first tedding on the section of grass that's for silage, I think it might not turn to hay. But I'm interested to find out. So I'm not going to do it on a large amount, because of course we actually want to make silage out of this. So I don't want to lose too much of it. But I think it would be a good test to see if I can make some. Just a little test with a small strip, and we'll leave it and we'll see if it turns to hay. What it does also mean is the next episode is going to start in the same game day, because I am going to ted the grass now. In fact, to make sure we have enough time in the same day, put the time times 1. So yeah, I'm going to ted the grass now, And then in the twilight hours, I will come back and I will ted once more. And I'm hoping that will then allow it to turn to hay overnight, because I checked the weather forecast and the weather forecast is good. You can see at the moment soil temperature not that high, but 21 degrees air temperature. That's good weather. But it's worth pointing out, I didn't actually show you the situation with our crops. So we lift. Whoa! There we go. Yes, field 56 is the sunflower seed field. That is now planted. The corn is not yet, but today it needs to be 10 degrees. It still hasn't got to 10 degrees. Oh no. We're now outside the window for growing anything else, I think. So if the corn fails, I genuinely have no clue what we'll put in its place. Really don't know what to do. We might end up having to have a fallow field, or planting some root crops in the winter. But that's a big field for root crops. Like massive, massive field. Anyway, I'm going to get the second headland done quickly, and then we'll move on to some tedding. Okay, so I'm just currently drawing a line straight down the middle of the field. You may ask me why. Well, it's because I kind of want to mark the difference between the hay and the grass. The hay and the silage, sorry. So I thought I'd just do this. It does mean that one section is slightly bigger than the other because of the way I've done it. But I think that's okay. And now what I'm going to do is just to try and get this guy out of the way. Just going to kick him across a little. There we go. Does mean this this row is going to be quite a big row. It just means I can make that marking between the two fields even larger to make it even easier when we ted it, because otherwise it's just going to kick everywhere and we're not going to be able to tell what's what. It's going to make a right mess when we try putting it in the baler. There we go. Okay, this guy now then can just park here. He's going to be used later. Let's go and grab the final machine of this field. Well, no, not actually. We've got another 2 machines to use on here. This is a really big operation. Whoops. Yeah, it's a really big operation doing this field. Luckily, this tedder is a nice large one. I need to do some more inside view today. I've done a lot of outside view, and I know that it doesn't always go down that well. So we'll unfold it. Okay, I'm going to have to go outside view just to judge the scale. Right, okay. Oh, that is big. It's very big, isn't it? When I've seen farmers doing this in real life, I have never, ever seen them use anything of this size. I'm sure they actually do, otherwise they wouldn't exist, but yeah. Now look at that colour change. That is not grass that is ready to be turned to hay. That is something else. I wish I had a loading wagon, but I don't. So, yeah, that needs to be tedded a second time. That's just kind of like slightly dry. What we get with Maize Plus and the forage extension is an extra stage of growth, or an extra stage of drying, I should say, for the grass. And that is what you're seeing there. That, to be honest, rather disgusting looking brown is the extra stage. I'm very pleased that we went for this tether. It may be a large tether. Probably could have done this with a smaller one, but this is going to make doing this a lot quicker. And that's what I want, because yeah, this field is a massive grass field. The mowers, very pleased that I bought those. I think we may have to invest in a bigger windrower, which was not something I was really expecting to have to do, to be honest. But yeah, there's a lot of field here, a lot of field. So I think an extra, a bigger windrower would help us. Having said that, I suppose it's not like we're doing it any, I don't know. How long do you think this would take a real farmer to do? If they were just cutting it and baling it or picking it up to put into a pit. How long do you think? I suppose a whole day isn't an unrealistic amount. And I've just remembered something quite important with Maize Plus. What you see here, this colour of grass that is currently coming out the back of the tedder, that is what can go into the pit. Basically, this light green grass that we've got, that cannot go into the pit. Not possible. It can be baled, but it cannot go into a silage pit. Only this second one can, the one I'm getting from the tedding. That's the only way you can put grass into a pit with the Maize Plus forage extension. Apparently, that's because it's more realistic. However, talking to Elite Farming, he's not completely sure if it is or not. I'd like to hear from anyone who actually knows. Do you normally ted the grass before you put it into a pit? Or is it do you only do that if it's absolutely soaking? I would be interested to know. Right, well, you know what? I am fairly certain that this video has dragged on long enough. So I think what I'm going to have to do is split the day into two. So I'm going to leave it here, and next episode, like I said, we'll do some tedding on here, but I'll also windrow up the rest of that grass in between episodes, and next episode we can bale it all, so that the stuff that's ready for baling can be baled, and we can move those, and then we can ted this stuff later on. But for now, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you again very soon. Bye bye.